Hi, welcome to Southwest Nova Scotia on Canada's East Coast. I'm Jerry Curry. As an Apple reseller, but also as a user, I was faced with the ever greater necessity of having a broadband connection to the internet. Yet with our sparse population scattered over a wide area, traditional methods of delivery remain economically unfeasible for much of our region. To test the feasibility of providing a wireless solution, I took it upon myself to see if I could make it work for me. What you're about to see is a record of my attempt. Here's Wireless in the Wilderness. I hope you enjoy it.
This is where I used to live. Toronto, the Big Smoke, millions of people and every type of internet connection imaginable. Now I live here. Lots of fresh air and lots of seagulls, but just a little light in the high-tech department. And broadband? In town and along the highways, it's a possibility, but inland? Forget about it. You see, that's my problem. I live here, about 5 kilometers from the nearest access to broadband. So what's a hardcore geek gonna do? Get creative, that's what. First step was a trip to the roof to see the lay of the land. Fortunately, I live on a high point, and as luck would have it, I could see several buildings off in the distance that might serve my purpose. The one closest to me, and with the most potential, turned out to be an old Baptist church, and the church warden just happened to be my neighbor. After consultation with the congregation, I was given permission to put my plan into action. My plan was to have a cable modem installed at the church and implement a wireless link to home using off-the-shelf IEEE 802.11b wireless hardware. Clear line-of-sight signal paths are essential at the 2.4 GHz frequencies used by Wi-Fi, so the antenna had to be placed as high as possible. Note its small, unobtrusive size. Despite this, it provides over 16 dB of gain that is confined to a 35-degree beam. I had a local chimney sweep install it for me, although I did all the inside work myself. A broom closet on the main floor made a convenient place to have the modem installed. To protect it and the wireless access point, I also installed an uninterruptible power supply. From here it was up to the wireless access point, 80 feet above in the 150-year-old post and beam steeple. When dealing with Wi-Fi frequencies and the low power of Wi-Fi radios, it is extremely important to avoid long antenna cable runs, so it was necessary to place the access point as close to the antenna as possible. Because there was no power available inside the steeple, it was necessary to find another way of powering the device. This was accomplished through the use of a technique known as Power over Ethernet. Simply put, the power was sent up to the access point using the extra unused wire pairs of the Ethernet cable, connecting the cable modem to the access point. The access point is an airport base station. Notice the small cable on the right. This is the antenna cable going out to the antenna on the other side of the wall. The object at home was to detect and establish a link with the access point, then integrate my home local area network. This was accomplished by using a matching antenna and coupling it to a Linksys WET11 wireless Ethernet bridge. The Ethernet side of the bridge is simply connected to my Ethernet network. The Apple Airport Base Station provides network address translation and DHCP, so I let it provide all the IP addresses for my network. To ensure that the wireless connection is as secure as possible, I have taken a three-pronged approach, all implemented in the airport base station. First, I created a closed network by hiding the network name. Secondly, I implemented MAC address filtering, allowing only the WET11 and one Wi-Fi PC card to access the base station. And finally, I am using WEP encryption. These three barriers virtually guarantee that the signal will not be pirated. So what's it been like? Well, as of July 2003, the installation has been in place and up for over 6 months, and through one of the harshest winters on record. I have had to go to the church and do a physical reset only twice. Otherwise, with the exception of ISP downtime, I have had continuous internet access, and surprisingly, even during the most severe snow and rainstorms, and I routinely experience sustained FTP transfer rates in excess of 500 kilobits per second. I am one extremely happy camper.
Since my initial work, I have set up several other long-range wireless connections, and I'm now working on my most ambitious project yet, a 20-kilometer link across St. Mary's Bay and back again, providing access to 5 new users along the way. Wireless using off-the-shelf equipment is truly a viable solution for remote and sparsely populated areas. I highly recommend that you give it a whirl. If you need any help or if you have any other questions, you're more than welcome to contact me. For Seattle Wireless TV, I'm Jerry Curry. So long for now.